It's not a worm welcome to something wiggling its way into the volunteer state. Jumping worms are spreading through several areas, including Tennessee. Frank Hale is a professor of entomology with the University of Tennessee. He says there's a telltale way to spot these worms.
They have a band around them. It sort of looks like a rubber band, and that area is more of a whitish coloration than a typical earthworm.
Jumping worms are considered an invasive species.
We have a lot of invasive pests, a lot of things that have come over from other countries. They all have a huge ecological potential to disrupt the ecology, I guess you would say. And that affects everything, you know, all the way down the food line. Jumping worms, they grow faster and they reproduce quicker than a lot of other worms out there.
They can damage roots of plants in gardens, forests, and nurseries. Ben Trest is a landscape specialist at Bates Nursery on Whites Creek Pike in Nashville. He says jumping worms may have a unique source.
It's very different from our night crawlers that we get around here. But there are a lot of worms used for baits and fishing baits that aren't necessarily native to our earth. And then if we're dumping that bait on the ground excessively, eventually they can start a colony.
He says if you find a jumping worm, there's only one thing to do.
Getting them on a dry surface, getting them out of the moist soil. We're at in Middle Tennessee is just being aware. And if we do see it, then we need to start taking action.
Staying alert and jumping into action to prevent these creepy crawlers. In Nashville, Alex Corradetti, News 2.